In today's episode, I'm going to show you guys how to update our code for Mario so that he doesn't keep running through all of his costumes, including his jump costume, so that we can get to coding our jump. So let's jump straight into Scratch. Alright, so here we are in Scratch, and this is what we want to get to today. So if I click my flag and I run around, he only goes through his running animation, and when he stops and looks forward. So that's what we're going to do today. Alright, so this is what we left off with last time. We just put in our pictures for our standing still and our jump. So now we need to make sure that Mario doesn't actually run through all of those animations when you move him left and right. So that's what we're going to update. So let's get to it. So the first thing I want to do is I actually want to move or remove these next costume tabs out of there because we're going to do it a different way and in another code block. So I'm going to remove all of those. And then I'm going to add a new code block starting with when backdrop switches to our second backdrop. Then we want to have a forever loop. Forever if. So we want to change our costumes if we're pressing the left or right arrow key. So in that if, I'm going to use an operator for our or. So left or right arrow key. And then in sensing, I'm going to grab my key and change that to left arrow and duplicate it for our right arrow key. So it doesn't matter which one we're pressing, we're always going to be updating that costume because we already have the point in direction for our right and left arrow keys in our code above. So now here, all I need to do is go to looks and I'm going to say next costume and we can try it out. If I try that, I go left and right. So we're back to where we were. He's still jumping while we're not pressing the right keys, or he's jumping when we don't want him to jump. So now I need to stop him from continuing to jump. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say if, and now I'm going to check what costume we're at. So if I go into looks, I can actually say, I can find this for costume number. So if my costume number is greater than my running animation, so if I go to my costumes, if I go to the bottom, my last run picture, that is run 2, that's costume 13, okay? So if I go to my code, if my costume number is greater than 13, then I want to switch my costume back to my starting run. So if I go in here, my starting picture for my run is run 3. So I'm going to go looks, switch costume to run 3. Okay, so now if I start that, if I go right or left, he no longer jumps. He goes back to that first running. He only goes through the running animations. Okay, so perfect. But also, I want to get him so when he's standing still, he looks forward. So when you're not pressing any buttons, he just looks straight forward at the camera. So to do that, we have to change this code a little bit. We have to add what's called an if-else. So we've used an if before. We've used lots of ifs. I want to use an if-else now. So the difference between an if and an if-else is that if that thing isn't true, then we're going to do what's in the else. So if the left or right arrow key is pressed, then we're going to do everything that's in there. But if the left or right arrow key aren't being pressed, then we're going to do what's in the else. So that else is going to be where we switch our costume to our standing still costume. So now if I give that a try, he automatically switches to that standing forward. And if I go left and right, he runs left and right. Perfect. So that's all I have for you guys today. In the next video, we're going to actually show you how to do that jump using spacebar, and we're going to code all of that in the next episode. So make sure you follow along, subscribe below if you haven't already, and we look forward to sharing the next few videos with you. Thanks, guys. Bye!